Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming. It is right at our starting time. There's a few more students jumping into the meeting, so I'm going to try and man that while I get started here in just a minute. Good afternoon to all my returning students and families. Welcome back. To the brand new students coming to Lee Virtual, welcome. Thank you for joining this meeting. This is for junior class, the class of 2023. So I'm so glad that you guys are joining me. I try to have these class meetings at least once a quarter. Some of the information that's in the meetings I cover each time just because they're really important that you know and that you hear so that you remember. And then other times it'll just be pertinent to the semester or the quarter or what's coming up for that you need to know. So we will go ahead here. Again, welcome everybody. The agenda today. We're going to talk about the school enrollment, semester 2. We made it through semester 1. Happy February. The end of the school year is going to be here before we know it. Time is flying. I want to talk a little bit about open enrollment window, graduation requirements, academic histories, which if you registered early, I did send to you, or I tried to send to you a copy of your history or your transcript. And they're brand new. For those of you that have been with me in previous years, or perhaps at a brick and mortar school at class meetings, you may have gotten a copy of your academic history. You'll see that it's a brand new system. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about testing. A lot of testing is coming up here this spring semester. So I want to make sure you know the dates and answer any testing questions that you may have. Talk a little bit about your senior year, what's coming down the road for next school year. We'll touch on the bright futures and also dual enrollment. So there's a lot of things on the agenda. I do try to put stuff on there, questions that I receive from you or from your parents so that I can kind of address it all here at one time. So as I'm going through, I will try to man the chat box for you and answer any questions while I'm in the meeting. I'll stick around after the meeting for anybody that wants to chat, and we will go on. So, okay, welcome to Lee Virtual School. This is our semester 2 class meeting. I'm Maria Baker. I'm your high school counselor. I have my contact information. Please don't be a stranger. Reach out to me anytime. My office hours are Monday through Friday, typically 8 to 3:30. You can reach me through email and or phone call. I do not get text messages. And I'm not able to text from my office phone, but this is the best way to contact me. So welcome everybody, and thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. Okay, so semester 2, we should be in the throes, working, submitting, making progress, moving right along in our semester 2 courses. The majority of you did a really great job semester 1. This is your your junior year. Time is going to fly by before you know it. Will be in your senior year. You guys, I cannot stress enough to you, every semester when we first start the school year, first semester and semester 2, please, 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 please make sure you have a total of 6 classes. I try to catch you. I try to check your schedule. If I don't catch it and you don't let me know until the 3rd week of the semester, then you've got to catch up on pace for those weeks that you missed. So please don't wait for me to reach out to you or to throw a class on there. There could be a variety of reasons why it wasn't pulled over. I noticed a lot of marine science semester 2 for whatever reason wasn't loaded into VSA. So I can't stress enough that you have to have, as a Lee Virtual student, As any full-time student in the district, you have to have a full schedule. For Lee Virtual School full-time students, that schedule is 6 courses or an equivalent of. There are some of you that are brand new that are just arriving in this semester, just a couple weeks late. So if that is you, hopefully you have reached out to your teachers, introduce yourself, make sure that you're communicating, make sure that you're reaching out, that if you have any questions, if you're stuck, if you're confused, that you are not waiting for them to reach out to you. You will find a great key to being successful here in the virtual school is communication. Homerooms. Some of you have probably noticed that you're getting dropped from homerooms. You're getting picked up with new teachers. We are continuously trying to work on our processes, and there is going to be some movement in the homerooms. Please don't sweat it. Don't stress about it. It's not a class that you need. You don't get a grade or anything. So just know that there is some changing going on. It should hopefully be all straightened out by the end of next week, so you'll know who your homeroom teacher is. You cannot take any classes you've taken before. You know, I must put that down, because when I ask you to let me know an elective or something on my Google Forms, sometimes students will put down a class that they've already had, and I just want to make sure that you guys know you cannot retake a class that you've already received credit for. If you've already taken that class and you've gotten that credit, you cannot retake that class. The only caveat to that is if you took a course and earned a D or an F. Clearly, if it's a class that's required for graduation, like an English or world history or a math, you will have to retake that class in order to earn the credit to graduate. But if some of you may have made a D in a course before, you're trying to bring your GPA up, any courses you made that you took and you had a D or an F, you are able to retake those courses. C and higher, you're not allowed to. Honors versus regular, that's been coming up quite a bit. Sometimes when the schedule changes to semester 2, some of those honors designation transferred over, some did not. So if you're checking your VSA and you see that you're no longer in English 3 honors, but you were last semester, or you want it this semester, please just make sure you email me. It's not a big deal. It's super easy for me to fix. And conversely, if you're in an honor section and you're just feeling really overwhelmed, it's a bit much, just email me, and it's a really easy change for me to change that designation from honors to regular. So please keep that in mind. Work study, for any of you guys that are brand new, or maybe you're junior and you don't know, if you do have a job and you're working, we can count that as an elective on one of your courses on your schedule. So for next school year, keep that in mind. If you're currently not working, but you know your senior year, you plan on working out at Publix or Walmart or wherever, that you can have what we call work study, or what's in the brick and mortar world, OJT, on the job training. You will be in a Google Classroom, and you just need to submit your hours and a short reflection once a week. So do know that that's an option, and it will be on the course selection sheet for next school year. If you currently have a job and you've got 2 electives, you want to drop one or something, email me and we can make that happen. Just do that before the end of the week, please. And then you guys, many of you will be looking at potentially taking an E2020 class or classes, which is credit retrieval. So when you look at your academic history, if you see that you didn't pass English 3 semester 1, for example, then we're going to want to talk about getting you into E2020 either in the summertime or in the fall next school year, to make sure that you're checking off any requirements that you need for graduation. Are there any questions? Sophia, we're not doing any electives in person. That is not happening this year. Usually during regular school years, it's not an issue to have a hybrid schedule. I don't remember seeing any email regarding that, but yeah, that's not an option, unfortunately. Can extra fine arts credits be transferred to electives? Yes, they will all count as electives. Okay, so semester 2, everybody should have a full schedule by this point. Everybody should be in their courses, working at least an hour per class per day in order to stay on pace and finish. Do know that if you finish early, say you're in a driver's ed or a peer counseling or a social media class, and you're done with that class by the end of March, you do not need to pick up another class. I get that question a lot. If you work ahead and you finish the course, it's not necessary that you always carry a load of 6 classes. So once you begin your schedule, either semester 1 or semester 2, once you finish that class, you're finished with that class, it's off your schedule. So that's just one major difference between us and a brick and mortar school. I've got some of you guys that finish, way early, and then sometimes think that it's necessary to add on another course. Just to clarify, it's 6 classes per semester. Excuse me, it's not necessary to pick up another class. Open enrollment. Yes, you can definitely continue taking classes. Some of you, absolutely. If you would like to begin a class, that's absolutely fine, as long as you know that you're going to have to be able to complete that course before the end of the school year, whenever that last day of the PACE chart assignments are due. I've been getting some questions recently regarding transferring, or does your parent or guardian need to do anything through student assignment if you plan on staying enrolled as a Lee Virtual School student? No, you don't. You will remain a Lee Virtual School student until your parent or guardian withdraws you. So there's no need for you to do anything if you would like to remain with us for your senior year. If you plan on transferring back face-to-face, then you do need to have your parent or guardian contact the student enrollment office. Open enrollment window is going on right now through through February 25th. So definitely have them reach out to see what your options are for your senior year if you plan on not remaining with Lee Virtual School for your senior year. So please try and knock that out before February 25th. Hopefully you will get the school that you would like. Hopefully you decide to stay here with us. Okay, so I want to talk about graduation requirements, and this is really, really important, especially for students that are transferring in from out of state, out of district, private schools. And I'm going to cover this every semester and every class meeting. So again, know that before you graduate from high school, you must complete and earn 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 1 year must be Algebra 1, 1 year, 1 credit must be geometry. And then the other two years will be depending on your path. If you're university bound, probably Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, or Algebra 2 and math for college readiness. So it just depends, but everybody's got to get through the algebra and the geometry. You need to earn a minimum of 3 credits of science. 1 must be biology. The other 2 can be whatever class we offer: forensics, marine, anatomy, physical, just depending on what your interests are. So if you are university bound, if you are shooting for that bright futures, I would recommend going for that 4th year of a science. The more academic units that you have on your transcript, the better that is for you, make you stand out a little bit more. There are 3 credits of social sciences that are required: 1 year of world history, 1 year of US history, and then econ and government. Those are the 3 required. Everybody must have those courses on their transcript in order to receive a diploma. 1 year of a performing or practical arts, so creative photography, digital infotech, guitar. There are several courses, computer-based courses, art courses that will meet that requirement. A credit of hope, which is your physical fitness, your health, and then 8 electives to get to your 24 credits. So as a Lee Virtual School student, you are a full-time student, you will take 6 classes each year. 6 times 4 is the 24, get you to those 24 credits. Are there any questions on the graduation requirements? Sebastian. Okay, this will be recorded and will be available for you to rewatch should you need to. I'm not sure what's going on with that sound. Okay, so going into the testing, so we pretty much know that the 24 credits, you're working toward those each year. There are 2 tests that you have to take and pass in order to receive your diploma. Many of you, due to COVID, haven't sat for the test or one of the tests. So I really want to emphasize to you the importance of coming in this spring and taking these exams if you have not already. As a junior and next year as a senior, if you do not have one or both of these test requirements met, you will be continuously invited to come in and sit for every testing session that we offer, whether it be an FSA retake, whether it be an Algebra 1 EOC retake, whether it be the PSAT, a junior ACT is coming up. So do know you will have multiple opportunities to take these exams, but please do come in, knock them out. You have to take and pass the Algebra 1 EOC, and you have to take and pass the 10th grade FSA. For the FSA, once you've sat for that test one time, the FSA or the EOC, you are able to sit for the SAT and or the ACT and meet a concordant score that way. So if the FSA is just kind of a weird test for you, you don't have much luck with it, do know that for that reading writing test, you can sit for the SAT or the ACT, get a concordant score, and that will meet that requirement for your graduation. Okay, real quick before we move on. I'll get to testing here in just a little bit, something else I want to cover, but a lot of times I'll have students ask if foreign language is a requirement. And it is not a requirement, but if you do plan on going to a state university like Florida Gulf Coast after you graduate from high school, if you don't have 2 years of a language on your transcript, you will not get accepted into a state university. You also will not be eligible to qualify for the Bright Future Scholarship. So do know that foreign language is not a requirement to receive your diploma, but if you do plan on being university bound or you're shooting for that Bright Future Scholarship, you do need to have a minimum of 2 years. American Sign Language, ASL, does count as a foreign language, so that will meet your requirement. Community service hours, I get asked quite a bit from students that are brand new and coming into the district. Here in Lee County, you are not required to document any community service hours for your high school diploma. It is required for Bright Futures. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And it doesn't hurt to have on your college applications or for your scholarship applications. So any questions on the grad requirements? 24 credits, you must take and pass the Algebra EOC, you must take and pass the 10th grade FSA. So if you were here, if you registered early enough, I did send to your email a copy of your academic history or your transcript. Up at the very top, you should see your name, your ID number, your grade, and your expected graduation year. So all of you should be looking at 2023 there at the top of your academic history. You will roll over into senior year. I get a lot of questions. If I didn't pass English 3 semester 1, will I remain a junior next school year? And the answer is no. You're going to keep on moving up with your grade, but you may just need to be a senior for 2 years. If it takes that 5th year for you to meet all of your requirements, then you will just remain a senior for 2 years. So there's a lot of information here on this screen. this is your high school transcript. So anything that any high school credit that you have earned should be on this academic history. Now, do know we have transferred to a new system. So if you've been with me in previous meetings, even last semester, your academic history looked different than what it looks like now. This is a brand new system. It's just rolling out. There's going to be some errors. There's some kinks that they're working out. But I like to get this into your hands at least once a semester so that you are able to check it out and say, hey, Ms. Baker, I did leadership skills through Florida Virtual School. I don't see it posted on there. Let me know. It's easy enough. I go back, we add it on, I'll shoot you a new academic history. If you see, for example, that you didn't pass English 3 semester 1 or English 2 semester 2, and you've not made up that credit yet for graduation, and you know you got to knock that out before you'll be able to receive your high school diploma. At the very top, I'm going to go through testing here just a minute. Let me try and kind of walk you through your academic history. So on the very top here, you will see your grade point average or your GPA. The LEAD GPA is a district GPA, or what we call a weighted GPA. The state GPA is what we would refer to as unweighted GPA. So some of you might have the same state and district grade point average, and that just means that you've not taken any honors classes or dual enrollment or AP courses. When you take those AP or honor level courses, you're going to get a little bit extra credit for taking those more challenging courses. But for dual enrollment purposes and for graduation purposes, we always looking at the unweighted or the state GPA. For colleges and scholarships, it's usually always the weighted GPA, but if you're looking and you see a difference, that's the reason why. The district GPA, you will get a weighted, you can have a weighted GPA if you've taken some extra hours. So to the left there, you'll see some voluntary service hours, and some of you do have them posted. It hasn't transferred over from the mainframe yet, but you should see, if you've logged hours with me, how many service hours that you've submitted to me to be documented. So going down to the left, you'll see the credit summary. So that box is breaking up your credits into the subject area. So language arts, for example, all of you hopefully should have earned by this point in your high school career 2.5 credits of your English. So you've got 1.5 credits left to go. So ultimately, we want to get that needed column to 0. So that's a really good kind of guide, a good visual. I wouldn't worry so much about the electives boxes. That can get kind of confusing. You definitely want to look at that fine art box, especially going into your senior year. If you still see that you need 1 credit of the fine art, make sure when we do course registration for next year that you're signing up for a class that will meet that requirement. And I usually always have that in a parentheses noted, this will meet the fine practical art requirement. Again, whether it be digital infotech or creative photography, music of the world, there's several classes that you can choose from. The one thing that is accurate, that should be accurate, is on the bottom column here under total credits earned. Whatever that says there in that first column should be the number of credits that you have accumulated since you entered into high school. Now, if you're brand spanking new to us, and I don't have your records, or perhaps I haven't transcribed them yet, maybe just shoot me an email with the name of the school and the city that you came from, and I'll make sure that those records were requested. Many have come in, some we've not received yet, so just know that that's a work in progress. But so you can kind of look at the credit summary there. Don't look at the next column, the required, it's not so much, it's kind of confusing. The next little area is your schedule, the courses that you have in progress. And then over to the right, are your EOC scores. So this youngster here has taken and passed, met the algebra EOC requirement. You can see that documented right there, and the FSA requirement. So this student is good to go. No more testing is required for their high school diploma. Now, I do get lots of questions from students who took geometry in their 9th grade year, like this student here, and didn't sit for the EOC, never had to take the EOC, but did receive the credit. If you've never sat for the test, geometry, biology, US history, you will always be invited to come in and take that test. You do not have to take that test. So there does seem to be some confusion. Now, if you took a piece of biology, say semester 2 this year, and you've never taken the biology EOC, you've never sat for that test, and you're taking biology this year, or geometry this year, or US history this year, and you have not taken that test, you do have to sit for the EOC. You don't have to pass it, but you do have to take it. Now, if you took that test, or excuse me, that class last year, and you got the credit, you're done. You don't need the biology EOC. You don't need the geometry EOC. Only if you have that class on your schedule this year and you've never taken the test before. So you will be invited. You'll always be told that the testing is going on. But no, it won't have any effect on your college admissions, or they don't even look at that. You just need to make sure that you get the credit. Anybody who's taken those courses prior to the school year, the governor has waived those EOC requirements. So typically, if you sit and you take geometry, but you don't take that EOC, you won't get the credit. So that hasn't gone down for this year yet. So if you're currently taking geometry, biology, US history, and you have never sat for the EOC, please do plan on coming in. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So as you get into your upper class years, if you're sitting for the ACT or the SAT, your college entrance scores will be placed underneath that testing section. That PERT should be gone by next year. We don't use the PERT for anything anymore, no concordance scores or anything. So that's where you'll find that information. If you've taken an SAT or ACT and you don't see a score there, it means you probably didn't put down our high school code. So your report was never sent to us. If you have a copy of that report, especially if you're brand new, please send that to me, because there's a potential I could get you out of the FSA or the algebra, depending on how you scored. So then you get down to your grade levels. So your grades earned, you will see that it's broken up again into subjects. So you can count exactly, check off English 1, check off English 2, semester 1 of English 3. You'll see the grade and the credit. You'll see the year that you took it, whether it's semester 1, semester 2, or full year credit, and then that school code that'll tell you what school that you took that course at. So some of you may have a 999. That means it's a transfer school coming in from out of the district. So again, look at that fine arts, just check. Electives aren't too important as much as the criteria, the requirements of your required courses for sure. Okay, so I know that's a lot of information, and this is a brand new look to the academic history, but this is what you're going to be getting next year once it's updated, and all you have left is your senior courses. Again, anytime that you want one of these, let me know. If you notice there's something missing, let me know, and we can go ahead and take care of it. Okay, so here is the testing calendar for juniors. The FSA retakes March 1st, March 2nd, and March 3rd. It is a 3-day test. You do have to show up for all 3 days in order for the test to be scored and to be able to get a score. So please Mark your calendar, juniors. If you want to early graduate, we're going to talk about this a little bit later. You really need to have this graduation requirement met. So if you have not passed the test or you haven't taken the test yet, please mark your calendars for those 3 days in March. We always do testing here at the school district office. For all testing, you will report to the north entrance. This is a pretty big building here, so there's 4 entrances. You'll want to drive to the north entrance always for testing. If you're coming for a Chromebook or for a meeting or to drop something off, you will always use the east entrance, just to clarify that for some new students. So FSA retakes, graduation requirement, March 1, 2, and 3. The Algebra 1 EOC retake will be March 9th and 10th. That is a 2-day test. Now, some of you, or hopefully all of you, should have received an email from Mr. Riley, who's our testing coordinator. And for the very first time ever, we are going to be offering an SAT to you, the junior class, for free. It is college reportable, meaning that it's standard time. It'll be just like a regular testing day that you would sign up for on a Saturday, but you would register here, take it here with us. It will be free. So if you have not received that email, email Mr. Riley or myself, because we'll want to have you get registered and signed up as soon as possible, because I don't know that we can fit the entire junior class. So I don't know what that cut score, what that number is, but do know that we are offering an SAT, college placement test, the real SAT, and it means you can put up to 4 schools, so FGCU, FSW, whatever schools you think you might be applying to after high school, you can go ahead and have those test scores sent. That is a full day of testing, obviously, because it's the full test for the SAT. So those are some important dates, graduation, testing, retakes, and then if you're a junior and you haven't passed or taken the FSA, come in and take the FSA on the March 1, 2, and 3, but also come in and sit for the SAT. The more times you take the test, the better chances you'll have of getting the score that you need. And then if this is the first time you're taking the real SAT, you'll have a good baseline, know what you're shooting for college admission or for Bright Future Scholarship or whatever it is that you might be going toward. Okay, so that's the testing schedule, guys. Please take a picture, mark it down. If you have not, if you're a junior, you want to have these tests knocked off before you come in for your senior year, and I'll get to why maybe in just a minute. So here are some EOCs. You don't need to worry about grade 9 and 10 clearly, but I did put this on here. Now notice it is a draft, but I do have the US history EOC. So if you're a junior, you're in US history, that will be 1 day. Right now it's scheduled for Thursday, May 26th. So it'll be the end of May. And if you are in US government this semester, you will be invited to come in and sit for the civics literacy exam. That is not a requirement to graduate. It is a test you'll need to take either in high school or at the college level if you go the college route. So if you are in US government or when you are in US government next school year, you will be invited to come in and sit for that civics literacy exam. So that's the new one that just came out this school year. But I do have the US history EOC test date there, and then the geometry and biology in case anybody needs to come in and take that test. Okay, moving on. So you guys coming into your senior year, if you have not started working on your community service hours and you think Bright Futures is a scholarship you want to go for, it's a merit-based scholarship. Anybody can get this scholarship regardless of financial need or income. It's a merit-based, so if you have the community service hours, you have the GPA, you have the test scores, when you apply for this scholarship, you only need to apply for this scholarship one time. You cannot apply for it until October of your senior year. So just keep this in mind for next school year. Anytime after October of your senior year, you can go to this website, complete the application. That will give me permission to send your transcripts up to be evaluated. There are 3 scholarships underneath this Bright Futures umbrella. And this is for our best and brightest students and trying to get them to stay in state. The top scholarship is what we call the academic scholarship, the Florida Academic Scholarship. If you are awarded this scholarship, and I do have a junior out there that's already met that requirement, you will have 100% of your tuition paid for at a state university. So like Florida State, UCF, FGCU, plus you get a little bit of a stipend, like $300 a semester, I think. So it's a nice chunk of money. The next scholarship underneath that is the Florida Merit Scholarship. The test score requirement, the GPA, and the community service hours are a little bit less than the academic. That will be approximately 75% of your tuition at a state school. Or if you attend like Florida Southwestern, one of the state colleges or the old community colleges, they will cover, if you get that merit scholarship, 100% of your tuition, say at Florida Southwestern, okay? But not at Full Sail, not at University of Miami, those private Ave Maria, they won't cover 100% of those private school tuition, but they will take whatever chunk you would get, say at UCF, and apply that toward your tuition. So keep that in mind. There is a Gold Seal scholarship. The requirements are a little bit different. You have to have complete a vocational program. So that is good for students that will be attending a vocational or tech school. So do keep that in mind, that there is a scholarship available for that as well. Okay, so here's the criteria kind of in a nutshell for the Florida Academic Scholarship. It's a 3.5 GPA. Now that's not a weighted or an unweighted, that is a core. So what they're looking at are only those core classes in your academics, your 4 Englishes, your 4 maths, your 3 sciences. If you have a 4th and say you have 3 A's and a C, they'll take the 3 A's and calculate that into your GPA. Your 3 social science required courses, and then your 2 foreign languages. So your core GPA is different than what you're looking at on the transcript. So keep that in mind, and we can always talk about your Bright Futures GPA. To the right, you'll see what the test score requirements are. The ACT for the top scholarship is a 29. The ACT required is a 1330, and then you need to have documented 100 community service hours. For the medallion scholarship, it goes down to a 3.0 core. The ACT is a 25 composite, and the SAT combined is a 1210. And then you have to have 75 hours logged. Now you have until June of your year of graduation to get those hours completed and submitted. And also you have that June test date of your up until your senior year. So even after graduation, if you're 1 point away from that 29 on the ACT, you've got all the other requirements, you can sit for that June test, that last June test of your senior year, and still qualify for Bright Futures. So please just keep that in mind. I do have the test dates here for testing that's coming up. You do need to go typically to their website. You need to create an account. You need to register, upload a photo, choose the high school that's going to be offering the test that particular day. That's going to be most convenient for you. So you can see there are 3 test dates left for the ACT. The February 12th is just coming up this next weekend. So the deadline has come and passed. It'll probably not be possible to get in on that February 12th unless you want to do a standby, which you can check that out on their website. So do know that there are the SAT, we have a March 12th, a May 7th, and a June 4th left for these test dates. And then, of course, you have the SAT that we will be offering here as well. So, don't wait. I would recommend this second semester, if you're university or college bound, or you need those test scores for your diploma, or you're going for Bright Futures, go ahead. Don't wait until the last minute. Let's go ahead and try and see what you need to get done and knock it off your plate before next school year. So I do want to talk about community service regarding the Bright Future Scholarship. They only take certain service hours. It needs to be non-for-profit, needs to be a community or a social, a civic, or some kind of project that you're working on. So there are specific guidelines that need to be signed off. So please make sure you're checking with me the form, the guideline. It has, the place for the signatures for the people that you're doing it under. A place for a proposal. What are you looking to do afterwards? A reflection. So for Bright Futures, make sure you're communicating with me and that we have your plan in place so that you're not doing 75 hours, come to find out they're not going to work for Bright Futures. Now, you can do community service hours. You can do whatever you would like. If you're interested in the medical field and you want to volunteer at a doctor's office, that's perfectly fine, and keep records of those for your own purposes, for your own portfolio. So when you go to apply to colleges or scholarships, you'll be able to say what you've done. But here I've just put a few organizations here locally that you can check out that definitely will be eligible for the Bright Future Scholarship. So if you've not started working on your service hours, please make that a priority. Let's get a plan in place so you can just start slowly chipping away and not have to cram everything in the last semester or two of your high school career. Yes, you do have until the end of your senior year. I would say the end of June of your senior year. So even after graduation, you're able to take the SAT or ACT and also continue knocking out community service hours. June 30th would be that deadline. Anything not met by that point would not count for Bright Futures. I do have a dual enrollment info session coming up next week, a week from today at 6 p.m. I'm only doing one session. It'll be in the evening, so hopefully your folks can join in if they're interested. This will be for brand new students into dual enrollment, so we can talk about the differences between being a dual enrollment student and being a high school graduate college student. We'll talk about pros, cons, the criteria, the process. So please mark your calendars. It will be next week, Wednesday, February 9th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. So we'll send out a messenger, check your messages, go ahead and get registered for that if you would like to hear about dual enrollment opportunities for next school year. So know that that's coming. Some of you we've spoken, and I do know that you plan on taking some classes in the fall. You can go ahead to their website right now and get registered. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Mrs. Dr. Sturck out at FSW, she does a really great job of putting information out there regarding dual enrollment at Florida Southwestern. She's got some really cool webinars that you can go on and watch and listen to. So just know that that resource is out there. Between now and the meeting a week from now, you can go ahead and apply. You would go to the website, fsw.edu. Make sure that you are choosing the dual enrollment or early admission application. If they're asking you to pay money, you are on the wrong application. So you can go ahead and apply, get your Buck ID, let me know. I'll tell you how you can make an appointment to test for the AccuPlacer. But do plan, if you are brand new and you haven't been in one of my dual enrollment info sessions, please do plan on attending that. You juniors, if you're interested in FGCU, they do have a early admission program. I've got several seniors out there and juniors actually this school year. The requirements are a little bit different. It's a little bit more selective because it is a university. They do have several informational sessions that are available this semester, and that is part of the application. So if you are interested, or you think you might be interested in attending FGCU next year in your senior year, here are the dates of upcoming information sessions you and a parent or guardian would be required to attend. The application is open now. It closes like mid-March. So you would definitely have to get registered for that March 12th. Excuse me. SAT. You do have to have an SAT or an ACT score because this is a university. And you can only apply and get in for the fall of your senior year. So do know that that's an option. The application is open now. You can check out their website for the upcoming dates for information, and they tell you all about the program, all the pros, all the cons, and it's a really great program, especially if you know that you want to attend FGCU. So if you've done real well academically and you think you're mature enough to be on that university campus, guys, your opportunity is now to go ahead and apply. You'll see that the final application deadline is March 31st. So we would need to go ahead and make sure that that process is in enrollment. So for, I see a question regarding community service hours. There is no requirement of community service hours for graduation, simply for a future scholarship. Okay, so info session a week from today. You can go to FSW website and complete the application. If you have a 3.0 or higher unweighted GPA, the next step would be to make an appointment at FSW to sit for the AccuPlacer test. And do know that FGCU's application for their fall entrance for their high school program is available now. Okay, so just a couple of things I want to put you guys just start thinking about now, because before you know it, it's going to be your senior year. And these are questions that I get that come up all the time. And the first one is, even if you only need 1 or 2 or 3 credits, that's all, you've got all your sciences, you've got everything you need, you have to have a full schedule. You have to have 6 classes, even if you only need 1 credit to graduate. As a full-time student, you have to have a full schedule. I just really want you guys to make sure you understand that. So there's no real super rush to get government or econ done, because you got to take something in your senior year. So just know that you do need 6 classes. Again, if you have a job, you can get up to 2 class periods of work study and for having on-the-job training. So keep that in mind. So perhaps you'll have a maximum of 4 actual classes that you're working on. Early graduates. So, you know, some of you, in looking at your academic history, you may only need an English 4. You may have taken Algebra 1 in 8th grade. You're already doing government and econ, or maybe you'll just need English 4 and a math. Many of you want to just wrap it up because college isn't in your future. You want to go travel or work full time, and that's fine. You just need to make sure that you're talking to me now so that we can plan this. Because if you only need a credit or a credit and a half and you don't want to access dual enrollment, then perhaps we can talk about a plan of getting you to graduate early, as in before the end of the summer term or one semester into your senior year. If you don't have an FSA score, a 10th grade FSA score, I'm not real sure I want to talk to you about early graduation. So please make sure, if that's something you're considering, that you do come in, that you do take these tests, every test that's available to you to get that score. You can't be an early graduate if you have all your credits, but you don't have that test score. And then you've got to take just 4 electives of classes that you don't really need. One would be intensive reading. If you take the test, or if you haven't taken the test, you will see that you will be placed in an intensive reading class as one of your courses next school year on the schedule. Okay, so just coming in, I always get a lot of questions regarding senior pictures. We don't have a yearbook here at Lee Virtual, so we don't do senior pictures. You are welcome to do your senior picture wherever you would like to do them. I know that the brick and mortar schools, I want to say, use Leonard Photography. You don't have to. You can use whatever photography whenever you would like to have your senior pictures taken. Yes, we do have a graduation. Lee Virtual School, we have our very own graduation ceremony with our caps and gowns. It's usually very, very, very beautiful. We can say your name and a little bit about you as you're walking the stage. It's very nice. So you will have to order your cap and gown. And when you're attending your senior meetings, you'll be given that information. The earlier you order your cap and gown, the less expensive it is. So the longer you wait, the higher they jack up that price. So keep that in mind. Caps and gowns will be delivered here to the school. I always get that question. So you'll get the cap and gown at graduation rehearsal. And you don't have to walk. We have students that choose to not walk for whatever reason, and you're welcome to come in and pick up your diploma anytime after graduation. College applications, if you're going university, you're going to hit those as soon as you get in your senior year. If you need transcripts, if you need help, please make sure you're reaching out, okay? Make sure you're checking your email, you're staying in communication, you're attending meetings. It's going to be here before you know it, guys. So just a heads up. I feel like there's something else I wanted to mention to you. Full schedule. Oh, okay. So in the beginning too of the school year, next school year, I will be sending you a senior letter. It will have all the requirements, any testing that you need. So be on the lookout for that. Please make sure that you're staying on pace in your classes, especially the second semester. You'll see if you don't finish any course, those grades are posted as Fs onto your transcript, and you will need to retake those classes through E2020, our credit retrieval program. Mr. Metzner is the teacher over that class now. We will probably be reaching out here. We just need to make sure you're getting in and getting any of these classes that you may not have earned credits for. Most of you are doing fantastic and on track, and it's not an issue. If you are concerned, please reach out to me so we can make up a plan and have everything. You'll know exactly what you need to get done between now and next May or next December for you to have met all of your graduation requirements. Okay, any questions? That's all that I have for you. I know it's a lot of information, but you know how to reach me, and I'm going to stick around here. Mr. Metzner, is there anything you want to jump in and share? Anything I forgot to mention?
It's a lot of information. I think you've done a wonderful job with it. Just a matter of making sure that people have their plan set in place for what they need to do or what they might need to do. I saw a lot of questions about, well, does this required? Is that required? Do yourself this favor. This is advice from me, and I know advice is just advice, but prepare for the worst and expect the best. Um, just make sure you have all the preparations that you can, testing included. Um, the SAT and the ACT, if I'm correct on this, Ms. Baker, please correct me if I'm not, that you can retake this next year. It's a possibility. So if you have the opportunity now to take it for free, take the test. I can't stress that enough. Do that. Do it for your future self so that you have some options. Give yourself as many choices as possible. Junior year is when you should be looking at all this anyway. Senior year, you're almost done, so you have a feeling of completion even if you're not really done with everything. So it's better to do it now. And that's just really where I'm coming from. I can't tell you how successful it was to have a junior success class when I was at Riverdale High School and taking everyone through a portfolio process, putting together their application letter drafts, getting their transcripts, which weren't official, but it does give you an idea, which Ms. Baker has sent to you. I'm doing a lot of extra talking right now, so I'm going to stop talking with one exception. Be prepared now.
For you current dual enrollment students, the registration process will be opening up in March for fall, and summer is also an option. And I'll be sending out an email to you currently dual enrolled students regarding that, but just reach out with any questions. I see a question for the US History EOC. Tentatively right now, you'll notice this says draft. Hopefully the date will not change, but right now, as of today, we have it scheduled for Thursday, May 26th in the morning at the north entrance. That EOC is a one-day test, so good questions. So check out, yeah, let me know, you guys. That's why I'm giving you your academic histories regarding hope, regarding whatever credits, the questions that you have. Again, maybe you've taken a class on Florida Virtual School and one semester of it got posted, but not the other semester, or it might be totally missing. Just email me and I'll have that added on for you. So just keep your eyeball on your records, especially now because there's not enough going on. Changing to the new system, it's just kind of wonky. So I just really want to make sure that you got your eyes on it along with me, just making sure that everything is accurately reflected there on that academic history. Yes, you need to report your service hours to me. I document them for you, and then everything is sent up to Tallahassee. So everything will be sent in your senior year at the end of the first semester. And if you don't qualify, that's okay. At the end of the school year, once all the final SATs and ACTs and GPAs and service hours are reposted, your transcript will be sent again at the end of your senior year. And if you qualify at that time, you qualify at that time. Or if you qualify for the medallion scholarship at the end of the first semester, but you retest and you get the higher score, when your transcript is resubmitted second semester, you'll be bumped up to the top scholarship. So don't wait till you have that test score or till you have those service hours. You just need to complete that application one time. And when you get that scholarship is yours, and it will follow you in college from semester to semester, provided you keep your GPA up. So it's a really great opportunity, and you guys are coming down to the wire for service hours. So again, service hours aren't required to graduate, but if you're shooting for that Bright Future Scholarship, you do have to have service hours, and there is a criteria, there are guidelines. Check out the website or email me. I'll be happy to shoot them to you, and just make sure that I approve your hours or your project that you're going to do. Yes, as long as you're in high school, any credit, any semester community service hours that you've done, even if we have to backdate them, as long as it's legit, then we can do that. Not a problem. Good questions, guys. I'm so glad that you are all here hearing this information, getting ready for next school year. The next meeting that we have in quarter 4 We'll again be talking about graduation requirements, bright futures, community service hours, but we're going to do a lot of talking too about course selection and getting ready for your senior schedule. So please be on the lookout. I'm trying to have these class meetings once a quarter, definitely once a semester, and sharing with you, where you're at and what your GPA is, what your credits are. It shouldn't be any secret to you. Most of you are on the ball. Make my job really easy. But some of you just need some gentle reminders, and or you're coming in from a school that, we just need to make sure we're all on the same page. So we get your diploma by May. Yes, any credits that you earn, once you meet those requirements of your fine art, any other requirements, those will just revert to, they'll just count as elective credits. All right, guys. Well, listen, I will stick around. You had some really great questions. I so appreciate you being here. If you need anything here, just let me know. I wish for you all a really smooth, great, productive semester here. It'll be summertime before we know it. This year is passing by quick. You probably say your high school career is passing by pretty quickly. So I appreciate you being here. I'll stick around in case there's anybody that wants to chat. Otherwise, you're free to go. Reach out to me if there's anything I can help you with. Have a great day. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sophia. You too. Ella, yes, you do need a certain SAT or ACT score, kiddo. You do need to have on the SAT for the top scholarship, you will need a combined 1330 or a composite 29 on the ACT. And then for the medallion scholarship, those test scores go down a little bit. It's a 25 composite on the ACT and a 1210 on the SAT. So yeah, you'll need to get those scores minimally in order to qualify. So now's the time to start taking those tests, seeing where you might be a little deficient, doing some test prep and retesting so you can take advantage of that scholarship. Sure, Jenna, you can email me separately. Absolutely. Community theater, Gia, send me, yeah, that should probably, let's talk about that. I'm not sure what you're doing, but it should be fine. Oh, yeah, I haven't reached out to Lehigh, kiddo, and this is like a crazy time with the semester changing. This would be something we would probably want to talk about as we get toward the end of school year and planning for next school year, but I wouldn't be able to get you permission to do that. Usually it's the beginning of the school year. Once those kids are in those classes, everybody's settled, they know what their numbers are, if they have room or not. That's typically how that works. And hopefully that will be allowed next year. Elizabeth, I'm not sure. The April 13th for juniors, you should have received an email, but shoot an email to Mr. Riley or myself, and he'll send you the link so you can get signed up for that. That would be a great time. Take advantage of that free test. Yeah, and it's given here, not on a Saturday. It'd be nice and small. It'll be good time. So yeah, Sophia, that would be for next school year, and that hopefully that'll be not a problem for you at all, kiddo. So let's just talk about that as we get toward the end of the year. I'll reach out to Lehigh with that plan to be in place when we come back from summer break before we start your senior year. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll stick around. Ah, thanks, Ella. That's exactly what I need to know, kiddo. So I will make sure and print that FLVS transcript and have those added on for you. Absolutely. We definitely want to have those on there. Thanks for letting me know. That's why I'm giving you those. I'll take care of that for you this week. Absolutely. Ella, check out go to fsw.edu/testing. I believe they do have some practice acuplacer tests on their testing site at FSW. Thanks, Mr. Metzner. I know you've been having meetings and stuff going on all day. I appreciate you jumping in. Hi, Devea. I hope you're good. Haven't seen you in a while.
Miss Baker, can we set up a time to meet about the website and get all this information together?
Absolutely.
Um, Community service forms, things of that nature, everything that was referred to. I know you're like, great, just give me more stuff to do, Mr. Metzner. Um, you're welcome. uh,
Well,
but
now that
these,
this is done, I'm ready to talk about that.
okay, good. That's good. I was going to say Nevaeh could stick around and listen to us talk about it. But the biggest thing is to make sure that all this is like in one location for them.
Okay.
And the first thing would be this particular junior class meeting presentation that was so artfully designed and constructed by one Miss Baker can be shared to one Mr. Eric Metzner. So that way I can take that and use that. Um, and you have resources that you go to during these sessions that are really helpful, but they're not in the presentation. And I don't know if that's something we want to explore having available. Like, for example, the community service form.
Yeah.
So have that available since it's something that may change daily or yearly, but I don't know if it does. It seems to be pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
But there were quite a few answers. And the other thing is, our SAT ACT testing was given to me by Mr. Schilling, um, and that was quite a while ago. That's this form, and it may or may not be accurate because it still has August 21 on there, going through July 2022. So it very well may not be accurate. I just want to make sure that whatever we post is accurate, and I'm sure the dates change. So I can make it to where it's something that we can update instead of having a static form like this.
Okay. Are you going to be back in on Monday? Do you want to try
I'll be
Monday?
back tomorrow.
Oh, you'll be in tomorrow?
Yeah,
I have a,
they're telling us the roof is going to be fine tomorrow.
oh, okay. I have an 8 o'clock meeting. We have our PLC at 9, I have 11, 12:30. How about,
PLC, perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
we could meet after the PLC.
Good, let's do it.
Want to try that?
Yeah, let's do it. And
Okay.
I'll try to remember all the stuff I'm asking for now. It's a lot. Think about the questions that were asked in this particular session. That's what I'm going to be asking for.
Okay. I really was kind of not paying too much attention because I knew you acuplacer
Right?
testing, acuplacer, community service.
I can go backwards in time here. ACT SAT sign up form.
And that
That's a
would
live form,
be, I think that's like for that, I think they're probably referring to the test that the juniors will be offered here, next in April, I think it is.
right? So is that something that was generated by Dan or by you?
Yeah, no, by Dan, so we probably wouldn't want to
Okay.
mess with that except to put it on the website if you haven't received the email for whatever reason to,
Yeah, and one kid said that the dates were for last year on that form,
uh,
which is it's possible. I don't know. Who knows what they're looking at? There were some specific questions about EOCs, and then of course SAT, ACT retakes. I kind of hit a little bit, but I've always been under the assumption that they should take like sophomores get the PSAT offered to them, and then ACT, and then of course back in the day we used to have waivers if they wanted to get those to take the SAT again. Um, where those are located, blah
yeah,
blah
that would
blah.
be good to have that waiver form on there too, that the kids can see what they would need to send to me.
Yeah, if there are forms that you need from a student, we need those forms to be available um, as well, so that way they can walk into a meeting with the form already done. Let's see. A lot of SAT, ACT questions. Some specific. I told one student about cosmetology school to actually contact that cosmetology school to find out what the requirements were because she was asking specifically if the SAT was required. I know that a couple don't, but most do. Um, there are trade schools, but some of them still follow the procedure of getting the ACT or SAT scores. They're
I
just
usually
lower.
need a test score, what, yeah, depending
Yes,
on
yeah,
what, some kind of test, yeah.
right, right.
And that will usually suffice for those kiddos, so.
I've even known some of these schools to take the PSAT scores. Um, let's see. And then any of the FSW relational uh, links and stuff. I think you had the links in there, and you were mentioning Dr.
Dr. Stirk?
Stirk. Yes, you were talking about her, and I think the link was already on there, so that's not a big deal. That's on the presentation. Volunteer hours / community service form is the same form. Uh, and when this is concluded, I'll just ask again probably tomorrow, can I get the link for the Zoom session so that I can post it like I posted the September and November ones.
Okay.
I didn't make the one this morning, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I did record it.
Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, I know that's a lot though.
Well, let's plan on doing a face-to-face after the PLC tomorrow then.
All right.
All right, thank you.
See you then.
Okay, have a good one.
You too.